Welcome, welcome, welcome everybody to our live cacao ceremony today. Or you may be accessing this as a recording actually, so wherever you are, in whatever space or time you exist in, welcome to this space where we are going to be having some fun during our cacao ceremony, tuning in and healing our shadow parts for reintegration to become whole again. So first of all, let me introduce myself. I'm Sorrel. And I'm a herbalist, a hypnotherapist, a healer, a shamanic practitioner, a cacaoista. I've trained mainly in the Mayan shamanic traditions with cacao and also a little bit with the Northern Native American traditions as well. That was my original training in healing, shamanic healing. So I want to introduce you to this particular way of working with cacao today, where we work with sound healing and cacao combined and shamanic journeying, because it's so powerful and it's also a lot of fun. And cacao is one of my favorite ways of working as a healer, because cacao is just so delicious and makes you feel so good. It works on the body. It works to raise your dopamine levels, your serotonin levels, making you feel happy and high. And it also increases your oxytocin levels, and oxytocin is the hormone of love. So when we drink cacao, it helps to open our heart chakra and it helps us to fill up with love and refuel. And having been a therapist for over 25 years, I can certainly see that that's one of the main issues that we have as humans, is that we at some point have felt rejected or a lack of love in our lives, and that issue needs healing for us to feel whole. So what else can I talk to you about cacao? Let me just run through my checklist. The mind, so the actions of cacao on our mind. It also helps to awaken the neurons so that the pathways within our brain are much more open. We're accessing more of our brain, which also happens when we meditate and when we work in shamanic trances or in hypnotherapy as well. And by doing this, by accessing more of our brain, then we are able to tune in and find the subconscious programs that we have running without us consciously being aware of them. And some of them are sabotaging, some of them are our shadow parts which are sabotaging our lives. So by tuning in to the different aspects of our brain, some of them which we like to kind of shove to the back and not really think about, we can have those aha moments that we might go to psychotherapy to get, but with cacao and with the shamanic journeying, it becomes a lot easier to access those parts and work with them in a healing way. On a spiritual level, if we want to tune into that perspective, it helps to open the heart chakra, fueling up with love, and also helping us to feel like we are a source of love, so that we have enough to give, that we feel like there's no lack anymore. And also it helps to awaken the third eye so that we can see in a shamanic way into the different perspectives of reality that are available to us. So I want our ceremony, because it lasts an hour together, it's a bit speedy, it's a bit supercharged today. So I'm going to begin our ceremony now by opening the directions. And when I open the directions, we're calling in our helper spirits to protect us, to guide us during our ceremony today. And I'm going to do this in a Lakota style. And we're going to begin by tuning into the spirits of the east. So I have to turn my back on you to do this part so that I'm facing the gongs, and then I'll come around and I'll spin in a horizontal plane, then we'll go down below, up above and within. So we're doing a sphere essentially, rather than just a circle. We're creating a whole sphere of protection around us. So while I turn my back on you, join me. Oh, if you're drinking cacao today, which I hope you all are, but it's optional. You can also just have a nice cup of herbal tea while we do this work. You might want to hold your cup up and to the direction that we're facing, inviting them to drink your cacao with you so that you're nourishing them at the same time as you're nourishing yourself. So let's do this together as I turn to the east. Beloved spirits of the east, we welcome you. We welcome the rising sun. We welcome fire. We welcome the new dawn, the new day. Please help us to fly up into heaven. Please carry us as high as you can today into the spiritual realm so that we can see with a new perspective. And we call in the spirit of eagle and condor to guide us on that journey, to help us to learn how to fly wingtip to wingtip with great spirit and turn our possibility into probability. Oh. And now we tune into our beloved spirits of the south. and we awaken to the spirit of water, the flow of life. We call in the spirit of great Mother Snake, Amaru. Please guide us on this journey today and teach us how to walk softly upon the earth, to feel the heartbeat of the earth connected to our own heartbeat, and to shed our skin the way you shed yours so that we can evolve and grow. Oh. And now we tune into our beloved spirits of the West. We call in the spirit of earth. We call in the spirit of Jaguar, particularly today, because we want to call in Jaguar on our shamanic journey later during our ceremony. Please help us to learn how to become peaceful warriors. Please teach us how to be brave and fearless as we walk into the shadows, to connect with those parts of ourselves which we might normally keep hidden, so that we can reintegrate them and heal them and become whole again. Ho. And now we tune into our spirits of the North, and we call in the spirit of hummingbird, we call in the spirit of wolf, we call in the air and clarity of thought. Please help us to have clear thoughts today. We call in our ancestors, our grandmothers, our grandfathers, and those who are yet to be born yet. We ask that you help us to walk this path so that we may evolve as a conscious human race, so that we may become finally a world of peaceful warriors. Oh. And now we tune in to the earth herself. So we're tuning into Mother Earth beneath our feet now, and we ask and offer our cacao to Mother Earth, even though really this offering of cacao you gave to us first. We offer it back to you. And we also invite our spirit guides, the plant people, the stone people, the animals of the air, the water, the land, the creepy crawly ones, and the invisible ones. We welcome you all. Please help us to live in harmony with you once again. Ho. And we reach up and connect with Father Sky, and we thank Father Sky for wrapping his loving arms of protection around Mother Earth and all of her children. We thank you for the breath of life and the winds of change, the blue skies and the grey. And now we tune into our cosmic relations, Grandmother Moon, Grandfather Sun, and the star nations, and all our cosmic relations. We welcome you. Please shine your light upon us and help us to remember our light shines too. And finally, we tune in to the spirit of love, to the spirit of creation energy. Some people call it God, some people call it Great Spirit. The creation energy that flows through all things. We welcome you. Please help us to know our place within this matrix, to know our path, and to how to be the best versions of ourselves. Oh, okay. So now you can start drinking your cacao. I've already drunk mine, so I can be in the right place, and so I can speak through this ceremony at the right time. I don't have to sit here in silence with you for 5 minutes, but you can now sit and drink your cacao while I run through a little bit more detail of what we're going to do for the ceremony, and then we'll begin in about 5 minutes time. And again, if you're not drinking cacao, that's absolutely fine. This is a shamanic guided journey, so you will get what you need to get from this. And you could be drinking water or a nice cup of herbal tea. It's good to have some kind of fluid intake before you do any gong healing, because the gong will shake up every single cell of your body and help us to realign in the most blissful way. So whilst you're drinking your cacao, your tea, your water, whatever you're up to, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the process that we're going to get involved with. We're going to do a shamanic journey. And a shamanic journey is really a type of meditation that helps us to tap into our consciousness, but also the consciousness that exists all around us. I'll speak properly now. From the shamanic perspective, we are all conscious. Everything is conscious. And we tune into our right brain consciousness, the shamanic side of our brain. We are able to feel into that communication, that ability to communicate with other beings that are also conscious. So we can speak to the plant people, we can speak to the stone people, and we can speak to the invisible beings that are all around us, the fairies and the spirit guides that are around us and here to guide us. So it's my job today to help you with that process, to help to awaken up your right brain consciousness, also called your third eye, so that we can receive information within this ceremony from our guides and also from our own higher selves, or our mega conscious, as I like to think of it. And this is so that we can gain a greater perspective on our own lives, to tap into our own inner wisdom and to heal and transform ourselves. And we want to do that by getting into a trance-like state. And to guide us into that trance-like state, you have me explaining how to do this journey, but also we have the guidance of the gongs today. And the gongs I have found a particularly powerful tool to guide people into deeper states of consciousness. Sometimes when we're working with this process, we can go so deep we might drift off. If that does happen today, don't worry about it. It's absolutely fine. It means you're working on a deep level. Just come back when you're aware that you've drifted off to the words that I'm saying or to listening to the gongs and remembering your intention today. And so now we need to think a little bit about what our intention actually is. So I'll be guiding you on a shamanic journey into the dimension we call the lower realm, which also is thought, I prefer to think of it as the inner realm. And this is the world of our imagination. And we're going to be tuning into, by using our imagination and developing our imagination, imagining that we're actually going on a journey a little bit like Alice in Wonderland into the lower realms, our inner realms. And we're going to imagine that we are connecting up with the spirit guide of Jaguar today. So we'll be calling on Jaguar energy. And the reason we're calling on Jaguar energy is it's a particularly powerful archetype for us. The archetype helps us to be brave, to be fearless warriors, but also peaceful warriors. Jaguar doesn't go around just fighting everyone and everything. It hides, it relaxes, it chills out in the trees. But when it finds a good bit of prey it needs to pounce on, then it will save all its energy up for that one bit of prey. And that's a little bit how she guides me through reality. She reminds me just to chill out, not to be jumping around too excitedly at every little exciting thing I see, just to chill out and save my energy up for those important moments when we need it. And she's also fearless enough to help us to step into that dark space within ourselves, to find our shadow parts. And when we step into those spaces within ourselves where our shadows live, these shadows are things that are hidden from us normally. So they might be our rage, our shame, aspects of ourselves which we don't normally like to bring out into our greater awareness. Things which we might want to work through in psychotherapy sessions or counselling sessions, for example, but we're going to tune in a different way today using the shamanic journey process. So as we do this practice of going into the lower world, I need you to imagine with me that we are going on a journey like Alice in Wonderland. We're going to fly our consciousness out through our heads like your third eye's little star in your mind, and it's going to fly out of your head through your crown chakra, the top of your head, and it's going to travel to a place in nature in this reality. There are 3 layers to reality in the shamanic perspective. This reality, which is middle world, the lower world, which is where we go inside ourselves, and the upper realm, which is our higher consciousness as well, which is seen slightly differently to this inner landscape. This inner landscape is usually seen like an unspoiled earth. So we're going to imagine that we're going to a place in nature. So I want you to think about where that place might be now. Perhaps it's a beach, perhaps it's a garden, perhaps it's grandma's garden for when you were growing up, perhaps it's a place you went on holiday once. It needs to be a place that you feel connected to, that you can tune into, so you can feel awareness when you're there. So just spend a moment now deciding where you want to begin your journey into the lower world. And it can be any place at all, as long as it's in this actual reality that we live in now. Then when I take you there in your imaginations, we'll look for a place to go down. And so we might find a hole in the ground. It might be like Alice in Wonderland. She follows the rabbit down a rabbit hole. Or there might be a door in a tree, like we imagine fairies might live in that tree, and we'll go through that little fairy doorway down into the lower world. And then just like Alice in Wonderland, we're going to fall down, around and down, around and down, around, deeper and deeper until we come out into that lower landscape. And then when we reach that lower landscape, we'll spend some time just getting to feel into that space. We'll call for Mama Jaguar, and we'll ask Mama Jaguar to take us on a journey into the forest to find our shadow parts. When we get to that forest, there'll be a fire waiting for us, a lovely ceremonial fire, a magical fire which will help us to transform those shadow parts, to burn away the old trauma that they've been carrying on our behalf, and then allow them to heal and become whole again. So for example, when I did this journey myself the other day as a way of downloading what we need to do together today, I contacted a part of my rage which was an angry part of myself, which I'd kind of blocked away from, because anger is not acceptable, especially when you're a young child. Everyone tells you off for being angry when you're a kid. And my anger was there because it was seeking justice, and it could see things were not right, but it was kind of shut off. So I had to put it away. And now I've allowed it to come back again, but in its healed form, because anger has two sides to its story. It can be an amazing, powerful aspect of yourself which seeks justice, which seeks to transform things and make things right. So when we heal our rage in the inappropriate way that it was shoved away, and we bring it back in its healed form, it becomes a whole part of you which protects you, which guides you. And then we can reintegrate it back through our heart chakra. So at the end of the journey, once I've guided you through that process, I will guide you home again by calling you back up through that tunnel, back into your bodies, and then we have a chance to integrate this information by coming together, if we want to, on Zoom after the ceremony, if you're joining this ceremony as part of the live event. If you're joining it in the recording version, that's absolutely fine. You can always send me an email or write me some comments, get in touch with me in another way if you need any assistance at all with integrating what we actually get up to today. Okay, so I feel like we're all ready. We've had more than 5 minutes. We've had about 8 minutes to drink our cacao while I've been talking to you. So I'm going to begin the process. So I want you now, if you need to just drink any more of your cacao while I begin, or go for a pee or anything. As this is on YouTube, you can press the pause button and it will take off again immediately from where you left off if you do press pause at any point. So as I begin, I want you to lie down and take a few deep breaths, just breathing in relaxation into your body and giving yourself permission to really let go. Tune into your body and give your body permission to let go and relax and release any tension that you've been holding. Breathing in some beautiful long deep breaths now. Imagine that your face is relaxing more, all the muscles of the face just softening around the eyes, the nose, the mouth, the jaw. Relaxing the tongue, relaxing the neck. Allowing that relaxation to spread through the shoulders. Just letting go of any responsibilities that you've been holding today. Let Mother Earth hold them for you. Now relaxing through the spine, the chest, the back, the arms, all the way down into the hands. Allowing that relaxation to spread through the abdomen, the pelvis, down into the legs, all the way down to the feet and into the toes. And now our bodies are relaxed. It's time for us to focus our awareness on our minds as well. So we're going to start to relax our minds by tuning in to a point of light behind our eyes, between our ears. Imagine that your mind is completely empty, like a void in space, except for this tiny point of pure white light. It's like a star far away in the distance. And now that star starts to get bigger and brighter and bigger and brighter. And it starts to fill up the void. Like a shooting star flying towards you, getting bigger and brighter. Now it's filling up the whole of your mind. It's moving into your body too. So it moves into the features of your face. It moves into your hair. It moves down into your neck. It's like a river of white light moving through you. Moving down through your arms, all the way down into your hands and your fingers, down through your neck and shoulders, down into your torso, all the way down through your abdomen, your pelvis, down through your legs, all the way down into your feet. That's really good. Allow that white light to expand out of you a little bit as well. And as it does so, it cleanses your whole energy body now. So it's filling up the whole of your aura. So you're surrounded by a sphere of beautiful, pure white light, and you're standing in the middle of it. And it's cleansing your energy, and it's preparing you to go on this shamanic journey that we're going on today together. And now I want you to expand your consciousness a little bit more to be about a mile wide. So imagine now that your aura has expanded out. So it's a giant mile-wide aura of white light. And it's tuning into the landscape that supports you. So you're feeling into the building that you're in. You're feeling into the trees and the grass. Maybe you're near a beach so you can feel the waves on the beach crashing against the shore, or maybe you're near the park so you can feel the dog walkers taking their dogs for walks. Maybe you can feel the pussycats prowling through the gardens. And now let's bring our energy back to just being the room that we're in. Now let's bring it back to just being our aura. Now let's bring it back to just being our body. Now let's start to draw it back so it's just that tiny spot of pure white light in the center of your mind. Now it's coming all the way back into the mind. That's really good. Now that little white light is like a fairy. And it's going to go on a journey for you. It wants to fly on this shamanic journey for you, to take you into the lower realms. And it's excited to meet Mama Jaguar today. So I want you now to allow that little white light to fly out through the top of your head. Dance around the room and fly out through a window or a door and into the space, into the sky. It's going on a journey first to that place in nature that you thought of earlier. Feel yourself being carried through the sky. I also like to imagine that I'm surrounded by a golden mist. So you might like to imagine that too, feeling yourself surrounded by a golden mist, carrying yourself through the night sky. Until you reach your place in nature. And you're like an aeroplane, flying away across the landscapes of the forests, the fields, the mountains, the valleys, the oceans. Perhaps you're just going to your garden outside, or perhaps you're going to the other side of the earth. However far you're flying now, feel yourself approaching the landscape where you want to begin your shamanic journey. And start to feel yourself coming into land. And that golden mist releases you as you step foot down now onto that landscape. And you feel the texture of the earth beneath your feet, wherever you're landing. Perhaps you're landing on rocky soil, or perhaps you're landing on grass. And you can feel that landscape. You can feel the temperature of the air against your skin. And you can smell the scent of the space. And you start to look around for a way to go down. Maybe it's a door in a tree. Maybe it's a hole that a rabbit might travel through. You're almost almost ready to take that dive into the lower realm. So let's go down together now. Let's dive down through that hole, through that doorway, and start to feel yourself falling down and round and down and round. Into the darkness, going deeper and deeper, and allow yourself to feel your consciousness deepen at the same time. Sinking deeper and deeper into that inner world, into our deep layers of our consciousness. And now we're starting to slow down our descent as we come into land again in the lower world. And you feel your feet touch the earth again. And you notice that you're already in a forest. And you can feel the crunchy soil beneath your feet that's made up of leaf litter, and you can hear the rustling of the leaves on the trees. And you call for Mama Jaguar. With your inner voice now, just calling for Mama Jaguar. And Mama Jaguar will come out from the darkness, out from the shadow where she likes to live. And she's going to find you now. So just spend a few moments now just calling for Jaguar. Or if she's already arrived, welcome her into the space. Now Mama Jaguar wants to take you on a journey to meet your shadow parts. And usually when we do this work, we might meet one part, but we might meet several. So just be open to whatever wants to come through. Mama Jaguar is here now, and you're connecting with her, getting to know her. And you're explaining to her that you're here today because you want to heal your shadow parts and reintegrate them to feel whole again. So you're ready to receive back the shadow parts that you need at this moment in your lifetime. And first thing that Mama Jaguar will do is guide you into the forest clearing where we're going to do our ceremony with our healed parts. So she guides you through the forest along a path until you reach a clearing. And in that clearing, as you come into that space, you see there's a fire. And the fire's burning brightly. But as you approach it, you see that there's a stack of fuel next to the fire. And so you go up to that stack of fuel and you put a little bit more of that fuel onto the fire. And the flames start to burn a little bit more brightly. And this is a magical fire, and it knows what you want from it. It knows that soon you're going to be working with it to heal those shadow parts and bring them back from the shadows into the light. And so now you're ready to go on the journey. And so you ask Jaguar now to take you into the forest to search for your shadow. Walk away from the fire into the darkness. So just look at the landscape as you go. We're looking for those shadow parts today, Mama Jaguar. Please help us to find them. Those shadow parts might look like you, or they might be a symbol representing you. So be open to what comes. They might look like a younger part of you. And when you meet them, I want you to communicate with them and ask them what part of you they represent. And start to get an idea from them as to why they left. And what they might need to heal today. They want to be seen. They've been hiding in the shadows because they weren't allowed to be seen. So what do they need us to see in them today? They might need you to see the trauma that they experienced. The reason they left and went into the shadows. Which is a reason why we need to really be open-hearted and compassionate today as we approach these parts of ourselves. Now, other guides may come, other animals may come to assist you, spirit guides may come, ancestors may come, and all of this is absolutely okay. This is your inner landscape, your inner world. And if you're not able to visualize, some people don't visualize, but they do have a sense. So just imagine however is best for you, connecting into this inner landscape in whatever way serves you. So now I'm going to give you a little bit of time just with the gongs to search for those soul parts. And when you meet them, remember to work with them, to communicate with them, ask them what they want you to see, ask them why they left, and ask them what their gift is to you. Because they will have like two sides of a coin. They will have a shadow side, but equally they will have a positive attribute that you will benefit from when we reintegrate them. So just keep tuning in with Mama Jaguar to find those soul parts hiding in the shadows. Once you've found one, ask if there's any more to be found. And I'll continue working with the gongs for a few minutes now until we're ready to move on to the next stage of our healing, when we'll go back to the fire and we'll sit around the fire with our collection of soul parts. And now just enjoy the journey. us to move on to our next stage of healing. So remembering all those shadow parts, asking Mama Jaguar to help you just to collect them up and guide them all the way back to that fire. Walking back now through the forest, back towards the fire, through the trees. Up just one, or maybe you've got a gathering of a few. Maybe there's a theme or a particular time that they all come from. So now we're ready to do the next part of our transformational process together. So I want you to invite them to one by one step into that fire, to burn away the old trauma. Remember, this is a magical fire, it won't harm you or them. Simply going to burn away any of the old trauma energy. In the shamanic tradition, there is no good or bad energy, it's just in the wrong place at the wrong time. Like Mama Earth will take your banana skins and compost them and turn them into nourishing soil. This energy will burn away and be released into new energy for you to use. And what once was the shadow part will now become a healed part. It will become medicine for you. So one by one, allow your shadow parts to walk through the fire. Maybe they change. Maybe they change colour, or they change the way they look. Some symbolic way to demonstrate the healing process that they've gone on. Maybe they simply look happy instead of sad. And when they've all walked through the fire, just all sit around the fire together again. Starts to die down a little as you all rest, resting in the forest now. And you're ready to welcome these parts home again. So you open your arms for a hug. Maybe you want to stand up and invite them to come to you one by one. As you open your arms up, one by one these shadow parts, or now healed parts of your soul, will come back to you, come and give you a cuddle, and then allow them to come into you. As they are pure energy, they come in through your heart chakra now, becoming one with you. Maybe you want to see them almost like a smoke entering in through the heart chakra as a beautiful colour, merging with you, becoming one with you. Welcoming them home. And feel yourself becoming stronger as you lost energy, this disconnected energy is now connected again. It can serve you to fulfill your highest potential. Last soul parts just coming home now. Welcoming them all back. Every one of them now reintegrating into your soul. And welcoming them home. And now you're one again. And Mama Jaguar sits smiling, looking at you. Proud of you for the work you've done today. She guided you on that journey. And you thank Mama Jaguar for the work she's done. And you thank the fire for the transformational healing it offers. And you thank the forest for holding space for your soul parts until you are ready to receive them home again. It's almost time for us to come back into our bodies. So if there's anyone else you'd like to thank while you're here, any other spirit guides or paranormals that came through for you, then just spend a moment giving thanks. And now we're going to call you back to your bodies. So feeling yourself now being pulled back by your body. Coming up through that tunnel. Top of the earth into that place in nature where you began your journey. And now you get lifted up by that golden mist and it carries you across the sky, across the landscapes of the fields, the forest, the oceans, the cities, the farms, calling you home. Almost ready to come back to your body now. You see the landscape of your home. You see your home where you live, or the space that you're inhabiting today. And you come back into that place. And you can see your body there. You just dance around it one last time before you fly back in through your crown chakra. And you're home again. Welcome home, everybody. Feeling yourself come back into your body now. Wiggling your fingers or toes. Taking some nice, long, deep breaths into your body. Expanding your breath all the way into your body now. Coming back to full consciousness in the room that you're in. And as you do that, remembering in detail as much as possible, just like when you awaken from a dream in the morning, everything you just saw and experienced, so that you can get as much from this process as possible. You might want to journal, you might want to write this stuff down. You might want to draw pictures to represent who you saw. If symbols work better for you than words. Now in a moment, we're going to close our ceremonial circle. And then after we've closed our ceremonial circle, I'll say goodbye for now. And then we will, if you wish to, and you're part of our live ceremony, meet on Zoom in a few minutes. And those of you who've booked the live ceremony will all have received that link already in an email earlier today. And yeah, let's begin by closing our ceremony together. You can continue journaling. We're going to have a little break before we come online on Zoom, just so that everyone can have a chance to nip to the bathroom or get a drink. But for now, let's close the directions by tuning in again, starting in the east and moving around, so that we've said goodbye to everybody that came today. Beloved spirits of the east, we thank you. We thank you for guiding us on our journey, for helping us to see things with a new perspective, for this opportunity to rebirth ourselves, to refresh ourselves. Ho. We tune in to our beloved spirits of the south, and we thank you for holding space for us, for teaching us how to walk softly upon the earth, to work with the spirits of nature, to become whole again. Thank you, Ho. We tune into our beloved spirits of the west. We thank you for holding space for us, for helping us to see in the darkness and to rediscover our light. Ho. And we tune into our beloved spirits of the north. We thank you for guiding us around the medicine wheel and home again. We thank our ancestors for coming. And we hope that we are now stepping into our power with your assistance and your guidance always. Ho. Coming back to the earth beneath our feet and all our earth relations, we thank Mother Earth, the plant people, the stone people, the animals, the furred, the finned, the feathered ones, the creepy crawly ones, and the invisible ones. We thank you all. And we thank Father Sky. Thank you for wrapping your loving arms around us. Thank you for the breath of life and the winds of change. And we thank our cosmic relations, Grandmother Moon, Grandfather Sun, and the star nations. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And we thank our own heart, the divinity, the creation energy, the great spirit that flows through all things. We thank you for taking us on this journey today. And we thank anybody else that came, particularly Mama Jaguar, particularly the fire energy. And you might want to thank anyone else that turned up as part of your experience, your journey today. And I thank you all for coming too, and for doing this important work. And may this feeling, this integration of the shadow today in a positive, healed way, ripple out through all of humanity and bring healing to everybody that we touch. So I hope to see you again soon in ceremony. It's been a lot of fun working with you today, and I hope to see some of you in Zoom soon in our integration circle too. So goodbye for now. I look forward to seeing you in ceremony again very soon. Peace and love.